How about Honey? How about Honey? What can you say about yesterday's activity, Honey? Are you surprised about the question? What can you say? You cannot do not have anything to say? How about Rihanna? What happened? What happened for all those students? To all those students who joined the activity yesterday?
I'm nervous.
Nervous. So you are nervous. That is why you sometimes close your mic, right? You close your mic and then you do not answer easily, right? But yesterday, you know what? Yesterday we had actually. Have you noticed the time? Have you noticed? Mark kept on asking, what is that time used? What is that time being
On
used?
Indonesian?
Yes.
The
So
time on Indonesia. In here it's currently 5 o'clock 2 minutes.
yeah, in the Philippines, it's already 6:03. 6 o'clock, 3 minutes. Okay.
Oh,
So, yeah, we are 1 hour ahead.
it is more earlier in Indonesia.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, what can you say about yesterday's activity before we proceed with our lesson?
Come again.
What can you say speak? Do you find
Come.
it hard? Were we able to meet your expectations? Does it make you feel nervous? But
Like expectation about TIS.
about yesterday's activity in particular?
An expectation about
About
myself.
about the speaking test.
About the speaking test. Oh yeah. I thought I'm going to do the speaking test about some question about like yeah. But
Yeah.
do you still remember when I do speaking test but I'm not serious, right?
Yeah. You were not serious. You really were not serious yesterday. I was actually beginning to feel lightheaded because I do not know what to say anymore. You remember? I kept
I still remember that, but because at that time I thought that the question is going to be a lesson and question, not my identity.
oh, actually, when we talk about the speaking test, we just wanted to gauge how you can be able to communicate with the teachers or with with some of your friends while speaking in English, right? While communicating in English. If you,
Oh,
yeah, if you actually notice, if you are going to take an exam regarding the language test, you are there is actually the different activities that we had, such as the vocabulary, the grammar, as well as the speaking test. Those were all included when you are going to apply to go to Western countries, including the America. You will be able to undergo everything that you have done for the past 2 days. So that is why, if you notice, we just talk to you in a casual manner. We do not actually make you feel uncomfortable. We just wanted to make you feel comfortable by simply talking to you, right? You. That is why you yourself did not able um, to get that we are actually already having the test when we are actually asking you some questions, right?
I yes.
Yeah.
Well, at that time I'm so confused because
Yes.
Miss Amira just want to ask me my identity because want to know me a little bit. Turns
Yes,
out it was speaking. I don't know that.
yes. So if you are going to apply and study abroad, especially the countries wherein you are obliged to speak in English, they are actually asking you to take the exam. So if you are going to take the exam, everything that you had experienced from the test, you will be able to do that. So that is why if you actually were able to experience it and participated in the different events or activities, then it is as if you already experienced having interviewed and taken the test, the written test from the different testing organizations or um, testing centers wherein you will be gauged by your answer. Right? Okay. So congratulations once again to Inda and to Mark for being tied up with rank number 3. Noel for being ranked up for number 2. And the other one, which is Alfonso. Alfonso actually is being consistent. He is actually being consistent. And if you look at Alfonso, Alfonso is actually very confident. I noticed with Inda, Kitya, Rihanna, Tristan also. Tristan, they can be confident, but at first they feel nervous. Right, Tristan? Yesterday, what can you say about yesterday's activity, Tristan? What did you feel during the time when we are talking to you?
What, Miss?
What did you feel about yesterday's activity? So we are actually talking to you and you are already taking up the speaking test, right? So
Yes.
what can you say about yesterday's activity?
Yeah. That.
Is it difficult? Does that make you afraid to talk when we are actually talking to
No,
you?
that's not my afraid. No.
You're not afraid, right? So we
Right.
are just talking to you in a casual manner, right? We are being friendly. We do not make you feel nervous. Did you feel nervous yesterday?
What?
Nervous. Are you nervous yesterday?
No.
No. So according to some of the participants, they feel nervous. That is why I am actually quite surprised because I have been talking to you every time we had a class, right? I kept on asking you. I am trying to communicate with you so that you will feel comfortable. You will feel comfortable talking in English. So again, thank you very much for all those students who were able to join yesterday's activity. I congratulated you for being brave enough to join the test, and you are actually trying to test also yourself. How far are you, right? How far are you in terms of communicating in English? Because not all the time you will talk in English. Am I right? You are not going to talk in English when you are going to talk with your friend. Do you talk in English with your friend?
No.
No. So that is why it is actually very rare that you will be asked in English and it's actually being I am very uh and be able to and being by your elders, right? Okay, but anyway, So much for the activity yesterday. Again, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you. Congratulations. By the way, Sir Harry said that the activity will be done twice a year. So we will have the same activity for two times in a year. Okay? So we are going to continue with our lesson. Who can still remember the lessons that we had? The lessons that we had last week. Who can remember the lessons that we had last week? In particular, what is our lesson? It's all about what? It is actually all about grammar, right? The first thing that we discussed was, what is the first thing that we discussed? It is finding the what? Finding the subject and the verb. When we are going to make a sentence and then we are going to look at the sentence, we can actually find the subject and the verb inside the sentence. Okay, regarding the subject and the verb, who will come first? Is it the subject or the verb? In a sentence. Yes, very good. In a sentence, the subject will always come first before the verb, right? It will come first before the verb. So, what are the subjects usually? When we consider subjects, what are the subjects usually that we can say it is actually a subject? What is that?
Good afternoon, Miss. I'm sorry, I'm wet.
It's okay, Claudie. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Miss.
Yes, you're welcome. Okay, when we talk about the subject, what can you say about the subject? What can you say about the subject? Anyone? When you talk about subject, what
someone
make
or someone doing it.
Again, Mark?
There will be someone who do it or some animals do it. Or something.
Very good. It is someone like a person, an animal, right? A thing, a place. A place can also be called as a subject or even an emotion. An emotion can also become a subject. Okay. It can be a person. A subject can be a thing. A subject can be an animal. A subject can be a place, right? Give me a subject wherein it is actually a person.
Woman.
Woman. Very good. Give me a subject where
Gabriel.
Gabriel. Very good. Gabriel is a person. It's in particular.
Samira.
It is a specific name of a boy, right? Or of a man. So that is also considered as a subject. So it is actually called as a proper noun. The woman is a common noun, while Gabriel is actually a proper noun. Okay. How about a place? What subject can you give me? Play. A play. Who can give me a place as a subject? Anyone? Home? Is it home in that?
Mall.
Mall. Okay, very good. Mall. What is mall? Is it proper noun or common noun? Mall. Proper noun or common noun?
Common noun.
Common noun. Because did not say the specific name of the specific mall, right? It just said mall. So it is a mall wherein we do not know what specific mall in that is talking about. How about a proper noun for the mall? You can give us the proper noun for the mall. Proper noun. For example, in our city, we have
Mall of Indonesia.
Mall of Indonesia. Very good. Mall of Indonesia is a subject. Mall of Indonesia is a proper noun. Right? And the common noun of Mall of Indonesia is simply mall. Okay. So we already had the person. We already had the place. How about the thing? How about the thing? Who can give me an example of thing? Thing. Who can give me an example of thing? Anyone? So I will give you my example. Here.
Breakfast.
Come again, honey.
Breakfast.
Can you write it down? I'm really sorry I cannot hear you well. So my example is chair. Chair is a thing. Chair can be a subject. Okay. How about honey? I was not able to hear it quite right because I do not. Maybe my connection is bad because look at the weather outside. It's really not good. It's raining, but not a very hard rain. It's a small. It's just a drizzle. Okay. A thing, a specific thing can be a specific brand of a thing. For example, we are talking about refrigerator or freezer. Freezer is a common noun, which is a thing. The specific thing or the proper noun of the specific thing can be Toshiba freezer, something like that, right? So we are simply giving the specific brand for that specific thing. That is why it is called common. Okay. How about the verb? How about the verb? When we talk about the verb, a verb can be what? A verb can be an action word. Who can give me an action word? An action word. Anyone? So I am very grateful to Inda, to Hani, to Mark for answering my questions. How about the others? How about the others? What verb as an action word can you give me? As an action word.
Sing.
Sing. Very good in that. Sing. Sing is actually a verb. When I am going to sing, my voice or what is actually moving? My mouth, right? My mouth. So I am making an action. When I talk, just with the singing, I am also making an action by the use of my mouth. Okay. How about the verbs to be? How about the verbs to be? What can you say about the verbs to be?
Is.
Huh?
Is.
Is. Is actually a verb to be. Those are example of be verbs, right? Is, are, was, were, has, something like that. So these are all verbs to be. So maybe you will get confused that some verbs cannot be an action word, right? In a sentence, when you look at the sentence, you cannot find an action word, but rather you can find the be verb. So those will be considered as your verb, right? Those will be considered as your verb. Okay, so I will have to share again the lessons that we had. So this is the lessons that we had last time. So I'm going to share it again. Okay, we're going to share this one. Wait. I'm going to share the slide. And if you are wondering why I am simply, okay, remember I am simply getting back to our previous lesson so that you will still remember the lessons that we had last time, right? Okay, so this is the finding subjects and verbs wherein I was already talking to you. So, but I was actually trying to introduce the subject and the verb. So when we are going to find subject and verbs, it is very necessary to find the right subject and verb wherein it will help us correct errors of agreement. So if you notice, when you are being asked to make a sentence, you are getting confused because you do not know how you are going to use the subject as well as the verb. So as I told you earlier, if you look at the sentences, if you are going to read something in the newspaper, in your books, or whatever it is, you may find it very easy to identify the subject and the verb because the subject can be written first before the verb, right? The subject first followed by the verb. For example, the list of items. These are on the desk. So the list of items is. It is actually is because if you look at the subject, list is actually singular. That is why you use the verb, which is also singular, and that is actually the verb to be is, right? It is actually the verb to be is. So we will not go back to that one. I am simply introducing so that you will still remember. And then this one, this is where I am actually telling you all about the verb and the be verb. So again, look at the example. He ran around the block. He ran around the block. So what do you notice again from the sentence? Sentence is what? Regarding the subject and the verb. Where was the subject being placed as well as the verb? The verb is on the what? First or second? The subject is written first or second. He ran around the block. Where is the subject? Is it written first or is it written second? He ran around the block.
The first.
The first.
First, very good. It is written first. So what is our subject? It is he. He. And what is our verb? It is run. Right? It is run. And then the other one, you are my friend. You are my friend. What is our subject? Look at the placement. What is being written first?
The first.
Yes, subject. What is our subject? You, according to Catherine. You. How about our verb? Remember the verb to be? What is our verb? Are. Very good. It is are. Okay, next. So there are rules regarding the finding of the subject and the verb. So if a verb follows to, then it is called an infinitive phrase. And take note, if a verb follows to, it is actually called an infinitive phrase. Okay? And it's not the main verb. And it's not the main verb. So I like to walk. So the verb follows to is actually like. Therefore, like here is not, I mean, the other way around. I almost forgot. The verb that follows to is actually the walk, the verb walk, right? Therefore, walk here is not called as a main verb, but rather it is called as an infinitive phrase. The main verb here will become like. The main verb here will become like. So I almost forgot. I actually corrected myself when I told you about the second time that we discussed this, right? And then you can also find the main verb either before or after the infinitive phrase. You can either find the main verb before or after the infinitive phrase. For example, the effort to get her elected succeeded. The efforts to get her elected succeeded. We all know that the subject here is effort. Subject here is effort. What is that verb which is being followed, which followed to. So the verb here that followed to is get, right? Get. So therefore, get is actually the verb that follows to. Therefore, the main verb here is not get, but rather it is succeeded, right? It is succeeded. Okay, so this is subject. We all know what is subject. So you were able to identify the subject. So there are also rules regarding the subject. So a subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. A subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. For example, a bouquet of yellow roses will lend color and fragrance to the room. So what is our subject? Is it bouquet or yellow roses? A bouquet of yellow roses will lend color and fragrance to the room. So what is our subject? Will it be bouquet or will it be yellow roses? What is that subject that comes before a phrase beginning with of? Is it a bouquet or yellow roses? What do you think? Do you think? Anyone? So the subject here, I already repeatedly discussed this last time, but then again, some of you forgot. So Inda, I can still remember that you were the one who answered me about the subject. Can you identify the subject from the example, Inda?
I think yellow rose.
Yellow roses. Okay, thank you very much, Inda. How about the others? What do you think? Is Inda correct that when she says that yellow roses is actually our subject here? What do you think?
I think yellow rose is.
Yellow roses also according to Honey. Thank you, Honey. How about the others? What do you think? Is it also yellow roses? Tristan, how about Tristan?
Yellow roses.
Yellow roses also, so you will not answer this one is yellow roses. How about, I think I can see, I saw Mariana earlier. Where is Mariana? I cannot see Mariana now. How about Mark? Mark is our
Did you call me?
subject. Okay. Of yellow roses. What is our subject here?
The subject in here is a
Is
a
it
bucket
or
of yellow rose.
roses?
A
Yes.
bucket,
What is
a
our
bucket
subject?
of,
A
the subject is
bouquet of
a bucket of yellow rose.
subject is our just one. Choose among the two things that I'm going to tell you. Is it bouquet or yellow roses? Based on the rule 2. A subject will come before a phrase. Okay, before
Then
a
it's a
phrase
yellow rose.
of yellow roses also. How about Catherine? For Catherine, what do you think is our subject here? Is it a bouquet or yellow roses? Take note of the phrase take note of the phrase of. What comes before the phrase of? Is it bouquet or yellow roses?
Can I change my answer?
Okay, what is your answer in that?
A bucket.
A bouquet. Very good. The subject here is actually bouquet. If you listen or if you understood rule 2, take note, I am going to read it. A subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. a subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. So therefore, a subject must be bouquet since uh, it is actually before the phrase of, right? Before the phrase of. Okay, rule 3. To find the subject and verb, always find the verb first. Then ask who or what performed the verb. Who or what performed the verb. For example, the jet engine passed inspection. Okay. The jet engine passed inspection. So if you look at it, I was not able to hide it. Pass is our verb, right? So if I have already identified the verb which is past, then I will ask myself, who passed the inspection? So you can say that the one that passed the inspection is actually the engine. Therefore, that engine is our subject. But then again, if you included the word jet as the subject, for example, you said jet engine, there will be no problem at all. But take note, jet here is actually, it actually is called adjective. It is used as adjective because it's used to describe what kind of engine are we actually talking about. Okay, but there will be no problem if you are going to include jet as part of the subject, wherein you are going to completely give the complete subject with which it is the jet engine. But if you are being asked to identify simply the subject, then you can say engine. If you wanted to make sure, you are simply going to give the complete subject, you can also say jet engine. But take note, jet here serves as an adjective. Jet here serves as an adjective. Okay. Again, from the ceiling hang the chandelier. From the ceiling hang the chandelier. Okay. So look at this. Hang is our verb. Hang is our verb. Okay, look at this. If you look at this, we already identified earlier that most of the time you can see the subject first before the verb. But then again, look at how we actually constructed the sentence. It is actually constructed from dependent variable to independent variable, right? So from the ceiling, hang the chandelier. So from the ceiling is actually a dependent variable. It is actually a dependent variable wherein it needs the subject and the verb. Therefore, from this dependent variable, we cannot find the subject here. We cannot find the subject here. So I will be able to identify the subject and the verb which is hung. Then I will ask myself, who was hung or what is being hung from the ceiling? What is being hung from the ceiling? So you can answer it with by saying chandelier. So the chandelier now is our subject. Right? Hi, Nicholas! You were not with us yesterday. Okay, remember rule 4 regarding the command or request such as stop or walk quickly. Remember, you cannot see or you cannot actually see the subject. Therefore, it is understood that the subject is you. That the subject is you. Please bring me some coffee. So in this sentence, please bring me some coffee. It is understood that the subject here is you. If you look at the sentence, you find you from the sentence because it is understood that I am talking with you. or I am talking to you. So therefore, you are my, or you are the subject. Rule 5. So actually, these are all being discussed last week. So I will not give too much emphasis. So rule 5, remember, I like cake and he likes ice cream. These are sentences we're in. We have one subject, one verb, two subjects, two verbs, sometimes something like that. So we shall not, we will not limit ourselves with the use by using the subject and the verb. We can use more than one subject and more than one verb, right? That is actually for rule 5. Therefore, I will not only say that I can make a sentence using only one subject and only one verb. I can also make sentence wherein I can use more than one subject and more than one verb. So therefore, it must be two subjects and two verbs. Okay, next, subject and verb agreement. So there is also this basic rule. Aside from the rules, there is this basic rule wherein when we talk about the subject-verb agreement, we can easily get how we are going to, identify the use of the subject and the verb in a sentence. So the basic rule is this. The basic rule states that a singular subject takes a singular verb. How do we make a singular verb? How do we make a singular verb? Anyone? I have been asking you this. How do you make a singular verb? For example, Hinda is no. Hinda plays outside. He plays outside. Who can identify the correct verb in the sentence? Hinda plays outside. What is the correct verb? Is it play or play?
Place.
Play. By the way, what is Hinda? Is Hinda singular or plural? What is Hinda? Is Hinda singular subject or plural subject? How many is Hinda in the sentence? How many is Hinda in the sentence? Anyone? How many is Hinda in the sentence? Clara. Clara, how many is Hinda in the sentence? Hinda plays outside. How many Hinda are we talking about in the sentence? 1, 2, or how many?
One.
Only one. Therefore, singular subject or singular or plural subject? Therefore, is that very good, Catherine. Inda is singular. Okay. So if Inda is a singular sentence, so what correct verb are we going to use? Is it play or play? What particular verb are you going to use? Is it play or play? What are you going to use? Play or play? Hinda is a singular subject. What are you going to use as the verb? Is it play or play?
Place.
Play. Very good. So to make a
Place or
singular
play? What do you mean? The verb is play or place. What?
Yes, the correct verb that we are going to use from the sentence that I gave you. Okay, so place. It is the correct verb wherein place is actually a singular verb, right? To make a singular verb, you will be able to add s or es. That is actually the common thing that we do regarding the subject-verb agreement. Therefore, a singular verb takes an s at the end or an es at the end, right? How about the plural verb? What is actually the plural verb when we talk about plural verb? How do you make a plural verb? A plural verb is what? It is
Plural.
the original verb. It is the original verb.
Something like
Play
this.
is the original verb. Therefore,
Example, the 3 channeliers.
yeah, the three
Or there are
channel.
3 person. There are 3 people watching an advertisement.
Okay, so if you look at it, between person and people, person is what? Singular or plural?
Person
what?
is just singular. It's only one. Example,
How about,
I'm a
how about people? What is people?
people is plural. Something
There
like
is-
us.
It is group of persons, right? It is group of persons. So people is plural. Okay. So remember, a singular verb, you will add s or es from the verb. A singular a plural verb, it is actually the original verb. It is actually the original verb. So the trick is in knowing whether the subject is singular or plural. And then after identifying the subject as a singular or plural, then you will be able to recognize the verb that you are going to use. So since verb do not form their plurals by adding an S nouns do. Okay? So verb, when we make verb as plural, we do not add S. Because when we add S, it will become singular. In order to determine which verb is singular and which one is plural, think of which verb you would use with he or she and which verb you would use with they. Okay. So we already have this one, the rule 1. Okay. Rule 1 is regarding the connected by or nor. If you are going to encounter a sentence using nor and then or, then you are going to identify the subject as a singular subject. Therefore, you are also going to use a singular verb. So therefore, I am going to identify first the subject by simply looking at the word or and nor. Then that will simply tells me that the subject here is actually singular. Therefore, if I have already identified the subject as a singular subject, I can easily identify the verbs that I am going to use by using the singular verb. Okay, for example, my aunt or my uncle is arriving by train today. My aunt or my uncle is arriving by train today. So we actually use singular subject, which is your aunt and your uncle, which is connected by the word or. That is why we use the verb to be singular verb by using the verb is. So my aunt or my uncle is arriving by train today. Not my aunt or my uncle are arriving by train today. It should be is arriving by train today. Then rule 2, two singular subjects connected by either or neither nor. It also requires a singular verb. So if we're talking about singular subject which is being connected by or nor, or by either or neither nor, we are going to use a singular verb. Take note, look at the subject. When the subjects that we use are both singular subjects, then we are required to use also a singular verb. When our verbs, two subjects that we use have been connected by either or the word or nor, neither nor, we are simply going to use a singular verb. For example, neither Juan nor Carmen is available. So subject is Juan and Carmen. Both of them are singular subject, which was being connected by the words neither and nor. That is why we use a singular verb, which is. And then either Kiana or Cassie is helping today with stage decoration. Kiana and Cassie are our subjects, and both Kiana and Cassie is actually a singular subject, and it was being connected by the connectors either or. Then we are also going to use a singular verb, which is the verb is. Rule 3, okay. Maybe you are wondering why we are being fast. I have already taught this one last week, right? And that is why I am simply going back to this so that you will still remember what we had discussed last time. Rule 3, I think we are already in Rule 10. But then again, we did not have class for 2 meetings. That is why I need to go back. I need to go back for you to be able to be familiarized again with the rules. Rule 3, when I is one of the two subjects connected by either or, neither nor, put it second and follow it with the singular verb When I, take note, when I is one of the two subjects, the word I, connected by either or and neither nor, put it second and follow it with the singular verb Okay, example. Neither she nor I am going to the festival. Neither she nor I am going to the festival. So you are not going to write first the I, but rather you are going to make I as the second subject. You are going to make I as the second, not make I as the first subject, but rather make I as the second subject. Then, okay, follow it with the verb to be Then follow it with the verb to be Example again, neither she nor I am going to the festival. Okay? So that is how you are going to make a sentence regarding the word I. If it is being connected by either or neither nor. So make it second subject, not the first subject. Okay? Make it as your second subject and not your first subject, and then follow it with the verb to be am. Understand? Understand? Anyone? Nobody understand?
I have a
I
question. I have a question.
What is your question?
The question is, when I look back at the example, what does this mean?
Yeah.
It says that when I is one of the two subject connected by either or neither or nor, put it second and follow it with the singular verb up. What second? I can see that neither she is she nor I.
Okay, look at this.
Huh?
When you look at the sentence, neither she nor I am going to the, neither she nor I cannot find the cursor, I'm going to the festival. I am going to ask you first, what are the subjects that you can see from the sentence?
The subject is she and I.
Okay, very good. The subjects are she and I. Okay. So among the two subjects, she and I am going to make sure that the subject I will be written second. Because the first subject is she, followed by the second subject, which is I. Okay, neither she nor I am going to the festival. So therefore, after making I as your second subject, you are going to use the verb to be You are going to use the verb to be You are not going to make a sentence like this. Neither I nor she am going to the festival. No, 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 no. You cannot do that. If you are going to use the verb to be you must make sure that the subject I will be written second and not first. Okay? It should be written second and not first. So you were able to identify that there are two subjects. The subjects that you can see from the sentence are she and I. So between the two subjects, the she and I will make sure that she will be written first and then I will be second, will follow. Okay? And then after making sure that I was being placed, going to use the verb to be. I'm going to use the verb to be What about the others? What about the others? Do you also have some confusion? Same with Mark regarding the word or the subject I. Regarding the subject I, do you also feel confused regarding the subject I? So it is actually regarding the subject I. If you encounter the subject I, okay, the capital letter I, which is the first person, make sure that you are going to place it second because the first subject would be the other subject. And second will be the verb, the subject I. And then make sure that the verb that you are going to use is the verb The verb Okay, Mark, can we proceed now? Is it okay now?
Okay, let's go on to the next presentation.
Oh, okay, thank you very much. Okay, rule 4. When a singular subject is connected by or nor. Okay, earlier for the rule 1, singular subject is connected by or nor to a plural subject. So rule 1, singular subject, both singular subject, right? But this time, one is singular subject and then followed by a plural subject which was being connected by the words or and nor. We are going to put the plural subject last and use a plural verb. Okay? When we have two subjects, the first subject is singular subject and the second subject is plural subject, we are going to make sure that the plural subject will be the second subject or it will be the last subject. And then after which, we are going to use a plural verb. For example, the serving bowl, bowl is actually a singular subject which was being connected by the word or, and then the second subject which is a plural subject which is plate. Then we are going to use a plural verb. Therefore, I remember earlier when we talk about plural verb, it is actually the original verb. Therefore, the verb is go instead of goes. G-O-E-S. The verb is go because it is a plural verb instead of goes, which is the singular verb of go. So again, the serving bowl or the plate go on that shelf. The serving bowl, or the plate go on that shelf. Bowl is a singular subject which is connected to a plural subject, which is the plate. Then after which we are going to use a plural verb, which is go. Go. You understand? For example, um, the baby or the kid, these are sleeping. The baby or the kid, these are sleeping. What are we going to use? Is or are? What are we going to use? Is or are? The baby or the kid is are sleeping. What are we going to use? Is or are? Honey, I think I saw Honey mumbling something, but I was not able to get it. What is our correct verb, Honey? Is or are?
Is.
L-E-O. It is. What is between the kid, the baby, or the kid is are sleeping? What is baby? Baby
It's, I think, are.
are. Very good. We are going to use are because the second subject is a plural subject. Therefore, make sure that the verb that we are going to use is also a plural verb. Get it? Anyone? You get it? Hello? Can you actually send a thumbs up sign? Can you send me a thumbs up sign? Or can you at least display a thumbs up sign on your screen? So that I will know who among you understands the lesson. Anyone? Nobody? Cannot see anyone making a thumbs up sign. My goodness. Where are you? Anyone? Nobody? Nobody understand? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah,
Only,
miss.
only Nicolas understand? How about the others? Only
Wait, let me
Nicolas.
see it again.
I can. Thank you very much, Nicolas. How about Inda? Do you understand Inda? Tristan?
I have an idea.
Do not
I'm
have
not
an idea.
understand.
Why? What happened? What can you understand on the rule 4?
Well, I don't understand for this proof for. I see that when a single subject is connected by or no or no. I'm super or nor or that nor to a plural subject. I put the plural subject last and use a plural verb. Well, I want to see it. The example says the serving when the singular is connected by or nor. The singular what's the singular subject? The
Singular subject meaning one subject only. One. It can be one person, one animal, one place. So you are talking
serving
about
bowls.
one.
If I'm right, the serving bowls and also the shelf were the subject here.
So bowl is actually your subject here. Bowl. Just a simple subject.
The
bowl.
ball. Yes, the ball. The ball.
Ball.
But what does this mean? So the singular subject is connected by a ball, a ball, and a shelf connected by an or. To a plural subject, that's the plural one was plates, right? And no, Oh yeah,
Okay, look
plates. The plural subject is plates. Put the plural subject at the last and use a plural subject. You mean put in the plural subject was plates and then it should go to the last? And I have no idea.
Okay, Alfonso, I will ask Alfonso. So Alfonso is actually simply watching and listening to us. Okay, so when you look at the example based on the rule 4, the serving bowl or the plate go on that shelf. Okay, can you be able to identify the two subjects from the sentence, Alfonso? Can you be able to identify the two subjects from the sentence? Hello, can you not hear me, Alfonso?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to me. Okay, read the example. Can you read the example?
No, I'm still seeing. Oh, I get. I forgot. The example is the serving bowl or the plates go on that shelf.
Okay, the serving bowl or the plate go on that shelf. What are the subjects that you can see from the sentence? What are the subjects? So there are actually two subjects.
Bowl and plates.
Okay, what is bowl? Is it singular subject or plural subject?
Singular subject.
Very good. How about plate? What is plate? Singular subject or
Plate
plural
is
subject?
plural subject.
Okay, so according to the rule number 4, when a singular subject is connected by or nor to a plural subject, then what we are going to do is that we are going to make the plural subject to the last. We are going to write the second subject to the last. Okay? And then we are going to use a plural verb. Okay, so serving bowl. Serving bowl is singular subject. This one to the verb, which is plate. Therefore, the verb that we are going to use should also be a plural verb. That is why we use go, okay, and not goes, right? Goes. We use go because this is the original verb, and the original verb is actually the plural verb regarding the subject-verb agreement, right? So look at this. It is very, if you look at the rule 4 and based on the example, you can easily understand that we are talking about two subjects here. The subjects can be a singular and a plural subject. By simply identify the singular subject and the plural subject, always bear in mind, since it is being connected the word or nor, the plural subject should be after the connector or nor. The second subject or the plural subject should be after the connector or nor. And then use a plural verb. So if you have two subjects, a singular subject and a plural subject, write first the singular subject and then write the connector and then make sure that the plural subject will be after the connector. And then we are going to use the plural verb. Understand? Or get it?
Understand.
Okay. So what are you going to do in terms of rule 4? You are going to identify the two subjects. After identifying the two subjects, you make sure that the first subject, which is the singular subject, will be written first, and then write the connector or nor, and then make sure that the plural subject should be written last, or it should be written after the verb, the connector or, and then we are going to use also the plural verb. Okay? We are going to use the plural verb. Okay, rule 5. When a singular subject and plural subject are connected by either or neither nor, so singular subject and plural subject again, the connectors will be either or and neither nor. Put the plural subject last and use a plural verb. So it is as if the same with rule 4. It is as if the same with rule 4. First, we are going to write the singular subject, and then the connector, either or, either and neither, then the singular subject, and then the connector again or nor, then the plural subject, and then we are going to use plural verb. We are going to use plural verb. Understand? It is also almost the same with rule 4. For example, neither Jenny, so Jenny is our subject and Jenny is specifically a singular subject, nor, it is the connector, the others. Others is actually a plural subject. Therefore, we are also going to use a plural verb. Are available.
Oh, I have a question.
Okay, what is your question?
What about if I swap it? Example, like neither the others nor Jenny are available.
Then we are not actually following rule 5.
So the plural one have to go to the last.
Yes. Plural subject should come last. Okay? So that is actually rule 5. If you are going to use or to write the other way around, then that's not the rule 5. We're not using rule 5. And it will become wrong because Jenny is singular subject, and then we are going to use the plural verb are, then it will not be a correct sentence. Right? You understand? So rule 4 and rule 5 almost the same. Rule 2 and rule 3, rule 1 and rule 2 is also almost same. Okay? And then rule 6. How about rule 6? As a general rule, use a plural verb with 2 or more subjects when they are connected by and. So the connector used is and, A-N-D, and. So when we are going to use 2 or more subjects, and then they were connected by the connector and, A-N-D, then what the verb that we are going to use is a plural verb. For example, a car and a bike. Okay? A car and a bike. A car is a singular subject. A bike is also a singular subject. They are being connected by the connector and. Therefore, since we have 2 singular subjects, we have 2 subjects, okay? And then they are connected by connector and, then the verb that we are going to use is actually plural verb. It is actually plural verb. So, subject connected by the connector and, we are going to use plural verb.
No S. There's no S at cars and bike. And also A should not exist.
Take note. Car. Car is a singular subject. Bike is also a singular subject. But they are connected by a connector N. It is like as if you are adding car and bike. So 1 car and 1 bike equals how many?
There is 2 transportation.
2. So when we talk about 2 subjects, what will it be? Singular subject or plural subject?
Oh my gosh, the plural. A plural. It's
Yeah.
making me
Okay, look at this mark. Simply look at the connector end. Look at the connector end. There are two subjects, car and bike. And then it is being connected by the connector end. It is as if you have two subjects now, right? So we all know that having two subjects, two or more subjects will mean plural subjects, right? So since they are plural subjects, we are also going to use plural verbs. You understand? You get it? You get the logic of it? Car, bike. Assign, for example, car is one car and then one bike. I'm going to add it. How many will become? Two. So two, remember two? Two is more than one. Therefore, it will become plural. So since plural, it is a plural subject, then I am also going to use plural verb. Go back to the basic rule. Right? Okay, you understand? Can you get it now? Are you still confused? Just look at the connector end. Just look at the connector end so that you will not be confused. If you encounter the connector end, there are two subjects which was being connected by the connector end. Then the verb that I am going to use is a plural verb. Simply as that. Do not make it hard for yourself. Just simply take note of the connector end. It is understood upon using the connector end, then I will use plural verbs. Get it? How
Get
about the
it.
others?
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much, Mark. Oh, I hope the others who are not as vocal as Mark also understood. I am very thankful to Mark because Mark is actually
I'm
asking
feeling that they'll
questions.
go watching something. I'm feeling
Yeah,
someone that constantly go watch something.
yeah, so they will not learn. They will not learn when they do that, right? They are actually being present, listening to me, but their mind is not with me because they are watching something. So you cannot learn when you are going to do that. So if you do not understand, ask questions. It would be good to ask questions when you do not know or you do not understand than to pretend that you know but you do not. In reality, you do not understand, and that would make you dumb. See? If you do not understand, ask questions. If you do not understand, do not pretend that you know because you will not learn from it. You will not learn from it, and that will only make you dumb. Okay, hello. It's more than it's past 7 in my country. So it's already past 7. You did not tell me. Okay, so are we going to continue or are we going to stop? You give me
Stop,
the
miss. Stop. My battery is going low.
so your battery is going low. That is actually Nicolas. I think it's Nicolas. Yes. Okay, I was not aware. I'm sorry, you did not tell me. Okay, so it's already 7:15 in my country and in your country it must be 6:15. So we are more than 15 minutes already. Okay, so we will continue with our lesson next Wednesday. Okay? Uh, I hope, again, before I will stop this, I hope if you do not understand, do not pretend that you know. It will not help you at all. It will only make you dumb. Right? But if you do not understand and you are actually asking to be able to understand, then that will make you learn something. Right? Okay, so everyone, thank you very much. Have a happy weekend. Thank you for attending the class today. How many attended the class? So 16, including Sandara. So thank you very much once again. See you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye for now. Have a happy weekend. Paalam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Miss.